Hello, boys and girls. Today we're going to do a little bit of long division with polynomials. This is a lot like our long division that we did when we learned it, third or fourth grade, wherever we learned it. So it's the same kind of skill set. We're going to be dividing a smaller value from a bigger value. So let's say we had 400 and we were asked to divide it by 3. Okay, so what you would do is you see how many times your dividend can go into your quotient right here. And we always look at that first value. So this would be, it goes in 1 time. And then we would say 1 times the 3 is 3. And we subtract it. Now when we subtract, we bring down the next number, that next value. And we think, okay, how many times will 3 go into that value? 10. Okay, so it goes in 3 times. 3 times 3 is 9. So we're going to subtract, and we'll bring down that last number. And again, 3 goes into that. How many times? 3. So we would subtract 9, and we get a 1. Now, this 1, there's nothing else to bring down. So in the past, you've probably done decimals, or you might have written as a remainder. Well, one way that we're going to be doing our remainders for this one, or I'm just going to go ahead and say remainder 1. Okay, ours is going to look a little different. We're going to end up writing this as a fraction because it would be really 1 over the 3. So you're going to see what that looks like today. Here is number 1. We're going to take 2x squared plus 3x minus 5, and we're going to divide by x plus 2. Okay, so this right here, this is what we are dividing from, so it would go underneath your division house. Just write that right there. And notice it goes x to the squared, x to the 1, and then no x at all for that last one. And we do need to make sure that they go in order. And if we're missing a piece, we have to plug in a 0. So we'll be looking at one of those in just a moment. Alrighty, so we are dividing by x plus 2. So what we're going to do is we look at this first term, and we look at the first term right here that we're dividing. Okay, we have 2x squared, and we're going to divide it by x. So if you think about it, we're going to have one of the x's cancel out, and we're going to be left with 2x. So if we want to get rid of this term, we have to multiply by 2x. So that's what we're going to put right here. We're going to put it above the x. So we have 2x times x is 2x squared. 2x times 2 is 4x. And we're going to subtract this row. So remember, that's going to go to both of them, okay? So 2x squared minus 2x squared is 0. It just goes away. 3x minus 4x is negative 1x. And we got to bring down this minus 1. Okay, so when we look at this first term, we now have a negative 1x, and we are going to divide it by x. So when we simplify this, scoot that up a little bit, the x's will cancel, right? And we're left with a negative 1. So we have to multiply by a negative 1. And I'm going to put it right over the constant right there. And we're going to multiply this. So we got negative 1 times x is negative 1x. Negative 1 times 2 is negative 2. Now remember, we always think of this as we subtract this line, okay? So this is a negative 1 minus negative 1x, okay? So that's going to become a plus, which makes it a 0. Negative 5 minus negative 2, so that, think of it as plus 2. Negative 5 plus 2 is going to be a negative 3. Now there's nothing else to bring down, so when we write this answer, we have 2x minus 1, and then we're going to say minus 3 over x plus 2. And that would be our answer.